Hey students, we are at our unit review, so we're getting ready to take a test tomorrow. And we are going to go over all of the things that are going to be on the test. So the key for you is that you follow what I am teaching and you do the examples that I ask you to do. And if you do that and you know how to do the review, you're going to do just fine on the test. So here we go. First things first, as always, we need to get through your bell work. So let's take a look at these. This one, we are going to be dividing decimals. So we're saying 6 and, oh, that's not a good color, is it? Let's use this one. 6 3/10 divided by 3/10. So again, the way that we do this, we move the decimal one place here. So we're going to move it one place here and then up into our answer. Now we just treat it like a regular division problem. So we're going to go 3 goes into 6 twice. That becomes a 6. Get a 0. Bring down our 3. 3 goes into 3 once. So we have our answer is 21. Okay, let's try another one of those. Let's go 2 7/100 divided by 3. There is no decimal to move over, so we're just going to bring it up. 3 does not go into 2. 3 goes into 20 6 times. That is 18. We subtract. We get 2. We bring down our 7. And it goes 9 times. So we have 69 hundredths is our answer on that one. So not too bad. All right, now it says, Emma says the greatest common factor of 16 and 12 is 48. Her friend Grace says the answer is 4. So who is right? So we're finding greatest common factor. And remember, we use the cake method to do this. We're gonna go 12 and 48. Well, what numbers go into 12 and 48? Well, 6 does. That's 2. 6 goes into 48 8 times. Okay, well, 2 goes into both of those, so that becomes 1, and that becomes 4. All right, so we're done because no other numbers go into 1 and 4. And for greatest common factor, what's the best part? The greatest part of the cake is the icing, and so that's on the outside. So we have 2 times 6 is 12. So who was right? Well, Emma said the greatest common factor was 48, and her friend Grace said it was 4. None of them are right. We're right. We got 12. So that is the correct answer. Let's move on to number 3. It says, write greater than or less than to make each statement true. Use the number line if you need it for help. So I know that 2 is less than 7, right? Let's blow that up. I know that 4 is greater than -5. I know that 0 is less than number 3, because if you look at the number line right here, 0's here, 3's here. Everything that's down this way, it gets less. This is getting greater. So this last one here, now this might seem weird, but 0 is greater than -3 because 0 is here and -3 is here. So anything that's more to the left is going to be less than. This next one, we have -1 and 1. So let's look on the number line here. So we're comparing -1 to 1. So which one's bigger? Well, this one's bigger because it's more to the right. So we have 1 is greater than -1. And that is that. We're done with that one. All right, so there's your bell work for today. And let's move on to your review now. Okay, so here is your review. And the way that I'm going to work this review, I don't want to do every one of the problems because I feel like it's important that you have a moment of self-discovery as you're doing this to see if you really do understand the concepts. So I am going to do a few of these for you. And then the other ones that I don't do, I want you to do all of them. And you'll see if you get them correct once you put them into Go Formative. So let's start. I'm going to make that small so it's kind of out of the way for us. Maybe. Now I can't make it bigger. There it goes. So we're going to leave that right there. So I'm going to make this bigger so we can see it. Now we're going to start out with what we kind of ended the chapter on, is distributive property. And it wants us to use distributive property to simplify the expression. So I am going to do number 1. Let's do it. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer to number 1 so you can see it. And we are going to go 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times W is 8W. And it doesn't change anything. We just bring the plus down. So 40 plus 8W is the answer to that one. All right, I'm looking at number 2. I think you can do that one. And I want to do number 3 with you. So we're going to go 15 times P is 15P. 15 times 4 is 60. Bring the minus, and then we have 15 times 2, which is 30. Now, if there are more than 2 things there, well, it doesn't matter. You always, whenever you distribute, you have to look at what you have and decide, can any of it go together? And what I mean by that is combining like terms. So again, I will go over this again. This 15P right here has the last name of P. Okay, so there are no other things in this expression that have that same last name. So we don't put a rectangle around anything else. These guys right here, they don't have a last name. And there's 2 of them that don't have a last name. So they're similar. So we can put those together. So let's write this down now. We have 15P. And then we have negative 60 plus 30. Now, this might be, that's why I'm going over this one. And there won't be any like this on the test, but I do want you to see what's going on here. So we're way back here at negative 60. And then we are adding 30 to it. So we're adding, okay, so if I add 10, I would be at negative 50. If I added another 10, I would be at negative 40. And then if I added another 10, I would be at negative 30. So I added 30 right here. And where did I end up? I ended at negative 30. So this would be 15P minus 30. Okay? So that's why I'm going over that one, because it deals with the negatives and it's kind of weird. That one you should be able to do. Let's look at 5. 5 is very similar to number 3, so you should be able to do that. Number 6 you should be able to do. Number 7 you should be able to do because it's very similar to the first one. And let's do number 8 together. So 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 4x is 12x. And 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, again, after I distribute, I need to ask myself, can anything go together? Does anything have the same last name? And yes, those 2 have the same last name. This does not have a last name, so it's the only one like it, so we're just going to leave that like that. Now we have to combine like terms. So 6 plus 12 is 18x. Then we have plus 15. That is our final answer. Okay? So, not too difficult. You just have to take it one step at a time. Let's go down here, and it wants us to factor these expressions using the greatest common factor. Now, we have some good practice at factoring, and we're going to use the cake method for this. So I'm going to start down here and go 2 plus 8. And what numbers go into 2 and 8? Well, 2 does. And this will become a 1. and this will become a 4. I can't go any further on in factoring that. So my answer is 2 parentheses 1 plus 4. Not too bad. All right, let's look at, I think you can do number 10. Let's do number 11 because we're starting to get into those variables. So we're going to go 12x plus 18. And I just want to show you, yeah, 6 goes into this, so we could use 6. But what if you didn't see that? What if you just started with 2? Well, 2 goes into that 6x times, and 2 goes into that 9 times. Okay, is there a number that goes into 6 and 9? Yeah, 3. So we're going to go 3, and then we would have 2x plus 3. Are there any numbers that go into 2 and 3? No. So we know that we are done. You know, if we did the birthday cake, you would put the candles on top. The only thing that goes into both of those is 1. And we're done. So we're going to take what's on the outside of the cake. That's what we want. And we're going to multiply it. So we get 6. And then what's the top layer of the cake is 2x plus 3. There you go. Now, what if we just skip? I want to just erase this part down here and say, well, what if we could see that the factor that went into it was 6? Does it change our answer? All right, so we're going to start over and just go 12x plus 18. And I know that 6 goes into both of those. That would be 2x. That would be 3. Because 6 times 3 is 18. Oh, look at that. So I got the same answer that I would have got even though I used a 2 on that bottom layer of that cake. It's okay. It doesn't matter what you use as long as you carry it through and multiply the 2 numbers on the outside or however many numbers, you're going to get the right answer. All right, I think you can do number 12 on your own now. Number 13, I'll give you a hint. 8 goes into both of these. Number 14 you should be able to do. Number 15 you can do. Number 16 you can do also. So there's that first side. Not too difficult. You should be able to, with those ones that I did, you should be able to do that. And again, remember, when you enter them into Go Formative, it's going to tell you if you got them right or if you got them wrong. And you can kind of make some changes. If you got them wrong, you can fix them. Or you can ask me or your teacher how to fix or how to do it if you can't figure it out on your own. Okay, so on this one, it says simplify the expression, so we're combining like terms. I would say that this is the part that most students struggled with the most in this unit. So again, we're looking at these things as families and last names. So we can see that this W right here we have the last name of W going on. So is there anything else that has the last name W? Yes. And notice again that I included the sign, the positive or the negative that's to the left of it. It belongs with that number. So that's why I'm including it. And then we look at the other things that are in this expression and we can see, oh, there's things with no last name. So we're going to circle both of those because they don't have a last name. Now we need to combine them. So we're going to go, all right, 2W plus 5W. Well, that's 7W. And then we have 3 minus 1, which is 2. And there is our combined simplified expression. 7W plus 2. All right, number 18, I think you can do that one. Number 19, you can do that one. Let's see, now we're getting into some that are a little bit more complex, but not that bad. So I'm going to do number 21. All right, so it looks like we have A's, B's, and no names. So we have a family with the last name of A, and we're going to include all of the A's with the rectangles. Then we have B's that we're going to use circles with. It doesn't matter what color or shape you use. It's just we're categorizing these, we're sorting these, we're putting them together. And this I find very helpful for students to see that things belong with other things. So there we go. We are now going to combine like terms. 3a plus 5a is 8a. And again, if we have multiple variables, alphabetical order is always best. I like to also say the most complex comes first, and then we slowly get easier. And then we always use alphabetical order. So when we have now got 2b plus 5b, which is 7b, and then we have a plus 5 all by itself. So there it is. That is our answer right there. Hopefully this is starting to make sense to you and you're smiling about it because it's so easy, hopefully. So anyway, here we go. I think you can try number 22 on your own. 23, I think I'm going to do that one with you really quick. All right, so again, we start with this idea of families. We have an R. Do we have any? Yep, we have an R there. And again, I include the symbol with it. I now have the twos, the things with no last names. And then we have this thing that has a P included with it. So there's my triangle. So what do we want to start out with? The R's, the P's are the regular numbers. Well, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. Okay, so P comes first. So we're going to do that first. We got 3P. Then we're going to do the R's. So this is the reason I wanted to go over this one. We have a 5R minus an R. Now, I have some students that think that the answer is probably 5, but it isn't. Think about if you had 5 R's. Like I had plastic letters and I had 5 R's. And I took one of those R's away. Well, how many plastic R's would I have left? I would have 4. So we have 4R. And then we have the regular numbers. The 2 plus 4 is 6. And there you go. 3P plus 4R plus 6. Number 24 is very similar to that, so I'm going to let you do that one. Okay, now this section, maybe some of you will maybe have a hard time with it, but hopefully not. Okay, in our lessons for this chapter, we talked about this word right here, than. Whenever you see the word then, it means we have to flip things. So in this question right here, when I say 5 less than X, well, it means X minus 5. So hopefully that made sense that, when you see that then right there, I'm just going to flip things around. Okay, so there's 25. Number 26, you should be able to do Y plus 6. Number 27, 3 times B. I do want to go over this one because there's a lot of different ways you can write things that are being multiplied. Now, I want to go over the ones that are acceptable because we no longer use this. We're not using that anymore. So make sure that if you're using that multiplication symbol that we used back in elementary school, we're going to stop doing that because we are getting into algebra and it becomes very, very confusing if you use an X for multiplication. So here's some that are okay to use. 3 dot B, 3 parentheses B, and my favorite, just 3B. That means multiply. This is my favorite because it takes up the least amount of writing. It's faster to write that than it is these other two. So that's why I really like that one. But you are more than welcome to use any of those to show multiplication. Again, number 28, I do want to go over that one. Divided by, 30 divided by a number. When it just says by a number, you kind of have some choice. You get to use whatever letter you want because it isn't telling us what the number is. So we know it's a variable. So, and again, we are not using this symbol anymore. No, we are going to start using the fraction bar to show division. So you can choose whatever variable you want, but you need to use the fraction bar to show division. Okay, number 29. Uh-oh. Look, I'm gonna just give you a hint. I want you to do it on your own, but there's a then right in this question. Do you see that then? Yeah, you're gonna need to do something on that one that has to do with flipping things. Same with number 30. You're gonna have to try that one too. Oh, look at this one. There's a then in this one. We're making you really work at that one. I'm going to do number 32, though. Number 32 says 4 times a number divided by 3. Okay, so I have 4 times a number divided by 3. Oh, okay. Again, when it says a number, you can choose whatever variable you want. So give some of those a try. The next thing we're going to move into is we're going to be evaluating expressions, and we're going to be substituting. Oh my goodness, look at this one. This bothers me. Look at that. What's wrong? Why does that bother Mr. Roberts? Oh, they used this. I just told you that we're not going to use that anymore, and here we are, as teachers, we're using it. Guys, sometimes when we're formatting this and putting things in, that using that fraction bar is sometimes difficult. And even finding division symbols, it can be hard. So, again, if I was to do this again, I would want to go 25 divided by b, like that. So, let's see what b is, because it tells us right up here that b is 5. So we are going to really be doing 25 divided by 5, which is 5. Pretty simple. In number 34, that means 9 times c. Remember, you're going to find out what c is. Plug it in, and hopefully you know that this means multiply. Number 35, we're doing 2 things. So we're going to go 4 times 4 minus 7. This becomes 16. 16 minus 7 equals 9. And let's take a look at this last one. Oh, you should be able to do that. You plug in the C, plug in the B, then divide. So I like, see, look at that. See, it bothers me. Number 36, they did it right. Whoever made this. And number 33, they didn't do it the right way. So, you know, just do the best you can. But, you know, you just hopefully you can substitute these things in there, give it, and do the operation. Guys, if you can do the problems that are on this review, you are going to do awesome on the test. So go through this. If you have questions, ask your parents. Look up things on the internet. YouTube has tons of stuff on all of the things that we've been talking about. Guys, good luck on the test tomorrow. Prepare. If you don't take the time to actually do the review, you're not giving yourself a chance to do well on the test. So please, please, please do your review and feel confident going into the test because you prepared and did the best you could. All right, guys. Till next time.